We have 6,000 lakes and ponds in Maine that are over an acre in size. Thousands of miles of stream habitat. And all of that is susceptible.
The reality is these invasives are totally free to flow from one place to another, and unfortunately, from what we've seen in other states, they do.
Aquatic invaders are seen as one of the most imminent threats to Maine's waters. They're to the south of us, to the west of us, and they're to the north of us. But Maine is unique in that less than 1% of our lakes are known to be affected by this threat. That provides us with this extraordinary opportunity to prevent the spread of invasives here.
I've filmed in, by now, more than 80 lakes, ponds, rivers, and streams throughout the state. 3 years ago, I was lucky enough to find the VLMP's lake data online, and it's become kind of my treasure map to these beautiful places. So with all that time spent in the water, I've been seeing the value of what we have here, but I really hadn't given any thought to invasives or how they might move from one place to another.
The first thing that really made me believe that this was an important thing was when a gentleman brought a boat here and they were going through a horrible zebra mussel infestation. That really brought it home to me that, you know, this stuff travels and it doesn't take much at all.
The lake is the most important thing here. I mean, there's no other reason that anybody would drive 6 or 7 or 10 hours or fly from Germany, Switzerland, Australia.
This lake is a gemstone. It's like the Hope Diamond of lakes here in Maine. And when I come over Indian Hill, it takes my breath away. And Moosehead Lake has so many sensory delights that create memories.
One of the things we hear a lot from people as we work our way around the shoreline is, could invasive aquatic plants become established in a lake this large? Moosehead Lake is Maine's largest lake, 120 square miles in size. But Lake Champlain, to our west, is almost 4 times that size. And since the 1990s, there have been dozens of aquatic invaders introduced into Champlain. One of the more notorious is water chestnut. A harvester is used to mow the tops off plants so that the boats can navigate from shore to deeper water. But unfortunately, it grows right back and must be mown again and again. Does that have an effect on recreation and the economy of the surrounding communities? Absolutely. Other people have said it's too far north, the water is too cold here. The reality is that no lake is too large, or too cold, or too far north to be immune.
This boat goes out every day to show people the beauty of this lake. They want to see a definitive line between water and shore and not invasive water plants or an encroaching shoreline that makes it look as though we're living in a swamp.
Last year, courtesy boat inspections pulled off of boats almost 500 invasive plants.
These plants and animals are not native to our lakes, and they're often inadvertently carried in from afar, hitchhiking on boats and boating gear. And once they're established, they have the potential to disrupt everything that makes our lakes special.
If something does slip through the cracks, we need a second line of defense. We need somebody ready and trained and able to recognize a suspicious plant when they see it and to know what to do if they do find something suspicious.
We got involved with the VLMP, who teaches people how to identify the native plants that are in there. And once they know the natives, they might spot an invasive plant before it has a chance to spread.
There are really 3 primary goals to this project. The first one is basically to screen the lake for the presence of aquatic invaders. And because there was no monitoring effort on Moosehead Lake, we assembled this team of trained, committed volunteers to come up and do this work. The second goal really is to activate a locally sustainable effort that can carry this work on moving forward. The third goal is really kind of a bonus. There's never been a full lake-wide survey of the native aquatic. So for the first time, all of the lake plants of Moosehead Lake are being documented.
It's amazing the dedication that we get from volunteers. You're out there paddling for 8 hours a day all around the lake looking for plants, and this isn't even their lake.
I started monitoring my own lake and would come to workshops, and I met all these people from other lakes that are so committed, and they've been doing it for years.
The total number of species that we've seen so far over the 4 years adds up to about almost 100 different distinct species.
This group took on a massive project when they identified Moosehead Lake as their first big survey because it's the largest lake in Maine.
Many of the people on our team are actually from out of state where they've seen what can happen to lakes and ponds and rivers once they're infested.
I guess the main reason I do what I do is because I come from a lake in New York which had 4 invasive aquatic plants on it. And I do not want to see Maine's water bodies go the way of the ones in New York. When you see all the native plants just being pushed out, it breaks my heart.
We all have that one thing in common, is that the state of Maine does not need invasive aquatic plants, and we do what we need to do to get rid of them. And most importantly, prevent them from occurring in the first place.
There are a lot of rivers and streams that connect Moosehead to other lakes and ponds, and there's so much to appreciate about how it all flows with this beautiful balance. But I'm also seeing things in a different light now.
The challenge in Maine with all the water that we have is really enormous. But one thing that this project has really taught me is that the people of Maine and the people who love Maine, once these people come together to protect what they love, the energy and the ability is limitless.
Day of summer, my true love gave to me 12 land patrollers, 11 lightning minimus, 10 on my jeans, 9 nature scholars, 8 odorata, 7 CM Slavic, 6 sterile scepters, 5 kayak scopes, 4 benthic tarps, 3 face masks, 2 mystery snails, and a tie fine gustafolia.